There is a lot of confusion about awakening and what it should do for the person. Now, the thing is that this message says that nobody awakens, but awakening happens. And generally, the concern is that how the character, the one that identifies itself as me, is going to change after awakening. Will I become a good person? Will my worries and troubles be sorted out? Will there be any change? That is usually the question, that what will awakening do for me? And the answer is very simple. The awakening does absolutely nothing for the me. Because the me realizes that there is no reality to it. Now, what that means is the life still goes on as it has ever been, but the concern with the outcome begins to reduce. So it may be that there are certain desires, there are certain tendencies that I think I should not have. And the me questions. The me says that if I am awakened, then that means these certain traits which I think um, are make me feel unworthy or do not help me to fit in the social structure or create problems in my interpersonal relationships, they should not be there. But even after awakening, those certain traits, they continue more or less to be the same. The only thing is that the concern with those traits and tendencies begin to dissolve. Yes, the character, the person, the me always says that, but I can be better and I should not do this, I should not do that. But there is a deep awareness which is not concerned with any of that. So if, let's say, you are not a very polite person and something happens where you have seen what you really are, you may continue to be impolite. But at the same time, there will be a tremendous compassion in your heart. Because the separation, you have seen the ending of separation. And the person usually comes up and says that I have awakened. The person says that now, since I have awakened, I must be more compassionate. I must be more loving towards others. But you see, that changes with the circumstances. There will be days when you will feel compassionate. There will be days when you will not be all that compassionate, and you may even feel the urge to distance yourself from people and things of those nature. But it does not matter. Jiddu Krishnamurti will say that I don't matter. It doesn't matter what happens. So awakening is a glimpse into the unreality of this pseudo subject called me. The pseudo subject that thinks that it is the center of all activity. The subject that thinks that it has to enhance itself, become better, fit into this world, become more loving, caring, affectionate, and so on and so forth. All those stories go on. And those thoughts do arise. It's not that awakening is cessation of thoughts. Thoughts cannot be stopped, they cannot be dropped, because every thought comes from the source. It's just that there is no involvement in that thought. So what happens in the end is that life becomes more simplified and spontaneous. And that is where people perceive you as authentic. People say that you have become more authentic because you don't mind speaking your heart to people. You just say whatever you want to say, whatever you feel about them. Whether it's nice or not nice, you don't care much about that. But fundamentally, your nature does not change all that much. It's just that you're concerned with your own self, that I must be a certain way in order to fit in, or in order to feel better about myself. That kind of thing drops away. You're not all that concerned. Even this obsession of getting more and more knowledge, acquiring more and more knowledge to become better, also begins to drop away. Because awakening brings this tremendous realization that everything at its core is emptiness. It is an emptiness that is complete. So, what is already complete, nothing can be added to it, and nothing can be removed from it. The only way true peace is experienced is in the being, which is one's own true nature. The being is the substratum. It is both the source and substance of everything, of every experience, of every sensation, of every feeling. So, the tendency to get caught up in feelings and crave a repetition of experience, or to desire not feeling something, also begins to drop. Yes, the character within you will emerge. The person will emerge every now and then and claim that it wants to be better, it doesn't want to hurt other people, it wants to be at peace. All those things go on. But there will not be any deep concern with it. In other words, there will not be any concrete seeking to become anything or to unbecome anything. So the whole notion that the person awakens is actually an illusion. It's a part of the illusion. There is no one to wake up, yet there is awakening. And awakening is beautiful. And in awakening, you recognize that you already are what you want, what you were always seeking. The happiness, the peace, whatever it is that you deeply desire. Or it can be a repetition of an experience, of a sensation, of a feeling, whatever it is that you desire, you already are all of that. But at the depths of your being, your nature is restfulness, stillness. And that, relatively speaking, is your birthright. That cannot be taken away from you by anyone through any external circumstances, through any loss, or through any gain. It cannot be taken away from you. All the idea that something is taken away from me, my peace has gone because I have lost something, or I have attained something, I have got the love of my life, or I have lost my wealth. It is all temporary. What is beyond the sensation is deep stillness, is deep peace, which you can never lose. And that is the very thing which enables this whole perception, this whole feeling of gain and loss. So when the mind comes up and says that you have gained something or you have lost something, and it keeps you trapped in that duality, recognize the fact that this very happening of this swing into one direction and then into the other direction is happening because there is a substratum of beingness, amness, isness, whatever word you want to use. Without that, without your isness, nothing is possible. So the very idea that our mind divides people into conscious and unconscious, and we declare actions as conscious and unconscious, that is purely based on mind's conditioning. And it is okay. There is nothing right or wrong about it. But there is an underlying peace that makes all of that possible, and that is not to be attained because you are already one with that. If something was to be attained, then it would be lost, because that is the nature of this duality. When you try to attain something using effort, it will be lost for sure. Whatever it is, love, wealth, adulation, admiration, companionship, friendship, anything that is gained will eventually be lost. And this whole movement of mind is witnessed. But mind you, we do not stop anything. Nothing is forced into this. So if a desire arises to attain something, that desire is witnessed. If a desire arises to not attain anything or to renounce something, even that desire is witnessed. And the witnessing the pure I in its pristine form is the natural state. When that is recognized, when that is seen, then this whole concern with the movement begins to dissolve. The momentary concerns will always be there. The character will always be in this pursuit of seeking perfection, seeking betterment. But no matter what you gain, what you attain, what you renounce, nothing is ever going to give you peace, because peace is your very nature. You can only be peace, you cannot attain peace. So, awakening, I would say, is not a special event, it is the most ordinary event. This whole idea of depending on time to understand, to become better, But I would also say that there are subtle changes that happen in the character once the truth is glimpsed. They do happen. And that is that the character becomes open to experiencing the bare sensation of both the pain and pleasure. The character does not shun any of those. It does not become averse to either pain or pleasure. Yes, momentarily the character may say that I don't want to experience this, I don't want this, or I want that. But then everything is accepted the way it is. Even the aversion to things or the attraction to desires is accepted. And some desires do fulfill, but the happiness is not sought in fulfillment. The happiness is the very nature. Relatively speaking, happiness is beyond the facade, beyond the illusion of the character. It is prior to thought. Again, I'm putting it in a dualistic language, so I'm saying it is prior to thought. Although it is prior to thought, it is not separate from it. But it is your most peaceful, most natural, and most blissful, I don't want to say state because every state is lost. It is the groundless ground of everything. It is always there. It is experienced as the I, which makes movement as I am this, I am that. But even when the movement happens as I am this and I am that, the I in its pure form is never lost. It is the I in the pure form that enables this entire experience of movement. But every experience is limited because experience implies time, and time is an inference born out of thought. So when we speak of experience, we are simply in the domain of time, and then we are not free from causation. But being is already free from all of that. The I in its pure state is already free from all of that. Because without that, there would be no space, time, or causation. The I gives rise to space, time of causation. It gives rise to the ability of knowing things. So the separation between the knower and the known collapses in awakening. And what remains is pure knowing in its pristine state, the primordial awareness that is our true nature.